Good morning. It is Monday, June 16th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Nicholas Cox. I'm the chair of HCC's History Department, and I'm here this morning with co-host Benjamin Escobar from HCCTV. He's a production specialist. Benjamin, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. I can't complain.
How's your weekend?
It was great. Had a good, nice resting weekend, and the rain kind of made it a little bit better because you kind of stayed at home. So it was good.
Yeah, I know with Father's Day, I got to spend some time with my kids and with my stepfather. It was nice. It was a good family weekend.
It's true. Happy belated Father's Day, by
Well,
the
thank
way.
you. Thank you. Let me add that and say that to all the fathers out there. Happy belated Father's Day. So Benji, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about our social media presence?
Yes, we are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, but Houston Community College District. We're also on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and on HCC TV, our own TV channel, where you can catch a rebroadcast of this show at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, I'll just add for everybody out there, we will be closed on Juneteenth, but I understand we're going to have a really great show on Friday. Maybe we'll say a little bit more about that at the end of the hour. But today, for Mental Health Monday, we're discussing sexual harassment with our regular monthly guest, Jessica Bellant. Jessica is the Education and Prevention Director for the Bridge Over Troubled Waters and a regular Mental Health Monday guest. Jessica, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here as always.
All right. Well, we're going to come back to you for the second segment. But first, today it is Music Monday, and we're here with HCC's Grammy award-winning music faculty member, Professor Nate Robinson. Uh, Professor Robinson, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Well, I just want to first say welcome back. I know you've won some Billboard and Dove Awards, but being a three-time Grammy winner, that is a remarkable accomplishment. Congratulations on that.
Man, thank you, man. It's really cool. I tell my kids this all the time. I used to like have Grammys as my passwords. It's not my passwords anymore, so I'm trying to use it. Uh, it's cool to to dream and then actually, you know,
So if
my
we
God, grace.
if we ever need to get into your canvas, it's like Grammy 2024. Is that the Grammy 2022?
Nah.
Well, we were taking a look at your website, and I see you are known as the Beat Breaker. Tell us about the origin of that nickname, and tell us a little bit about your musical profession career.
Yeah. That nickname was given to me by a friend of mine, an artist that I worked with years ago when I was like in my early 20s. And he was just, he was just a guy that was pretty good with words and slick with words. And so he started calling me that because I would send him things and he'd like it. And so, and I also play drums. So it just kind of, it stuck and I liked it. So when it came time for me to use a moniker, on records or whatever, I was like, man, I'm just gonna use what somebody else calls me. I'm not good at giving myself any names, so I just use that one. And yeah, I've musically, it's kind of been my whole life. Honestly, I grew up here in Houston, and I had great teachers at Sterling High School and some private teachers, Marvin Sparks at U of H and Rodney Goods, and they just kind of set me on a learning path. And I knew that I had a gift, and I just decided to just try to chase it, And so that took me to Atlanta, and during that time, I had a good amount of success that kind of built a lane for me and built a cool future that I can keep working on and keep building in the music business.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned your early experience playing music as a student at Sterling High School and at the University of Houston because I think about a couple things here. My son is also a percussionist. He played in marching band, and before that, he did some drum kit lessons and stuff when he was a small child. And he just absolutely loves hitting the drums, and that took him into reading music, playing piano, playing guitar, and just music is a big part of his life right now. But your students at HCC they also have this opportunity to study with a Grammy Award winning musician yourself, and could you talk a little bit about what your students do here at the college?
Yeah, man, a huge part of the reason why I was really excited to get the opportunity to come back to work to HCC, and I say come back because when I did my undergrad at Prairie View, And during the summers and, you know, other opportunities, I was trying to get done with school because I had dreams. I was trying to get out there, right? So I came to HCC, and it was really cool being here because I got to experience the type of students that come to HCC, and it was inspiring to me, you know, and made me want to keep working hard. And so now I have those same type students. Like, they have dreams, they have goals, and they're willing to do the work to make it happen. So I love being able to share everything I know, and you know, the students that I have. And this is pretty much across the board. Every class, every, you know, each subject matter that we're dealing with, I have students in each one of those classes that will come to me and ask questions, and they want to know, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. So yeah, I feel honored to be able to share what I do know with them.
No, I really appreciate that. And I really want students out there, especially, to hear that message because, both of my sons are creative guys. One's a chef and works in the restaurant industry, and the other plays music. And both of them probably thought that they could skip school once they got out of high school, just go right into the industry, go right into their passion. But in school, they work with mentors. They learn things they didn't know they didn't know. They build a network of friends and community that share their passions. And that's all positive, even if you sort of want to get through school as quick as possible so you can achieve your dreams. We're here. We're here as a school trying to remind everybody the value of that.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's invaluable, you know. And I tell my students that all the time. Like, the horizontal networking thing is invaluable, and you get that in places like universities and schools.
so tell us a little bit about the other roles you've played in the music industry besides being a student and a teacher now, as well as a musician, a professional recording artist. What else have you done behind the screen, maybe writing, producing? I'm not sure. Just tell us a little bit about the kind of 360 career.
Yeah, my actual, you know, music talents and abilities to play open doors to doing production, which I completely fell in love with. So yeah, the two of the Grammys that I have won, and you know, two of the Dove Awards, Billboard, those are all in production. And I did play instruments on those records, but I was playing a much bigger role, you know, than just actually playing a drum part. It's actually, you know, doing all of the work that it takes to actually get a song completed, from hiring, you know, and making a lot of choices and decisions. Yeah, I really fell in love with that role. That also led to doing more A&R work, which is, it's another step. I won't say above production, but it's kind of like the go between the label and the artist who's doing recording. So it's a little bit more admin, but I love that as well because you play a critical role in decision making to get final products done, and done on time, done in budget. You know, I definitely, I love those roles. Still, nothing replaces like playing music, but I definitely love being behind the scenes and making the music business go.
Well, I have to ask, do you still perform live, or is your
Oh yeah.
performance largely in private settings or in recording studios?
Oh yeah, no, I still play. I've been touring with an artist named Lecrae for about 15 years. So we're all a little bit older now, so it's kind of slowed down a bit, but we still go out weekends, and you know, we yeah, still a lot of playing. I played last night here locally. I love to play. I nothing replaces that.
Well, so give our audience out there your recommended places to go see live music. Where are you playing, and where are you going to watch music?
Uh, hmm. So I've only been back in Houston for a year now, so I'm still a bit discovering that myself. Um, but I do know the Post
Sure.
has a music series that's happening right now, so I stumbled up on that the other night, and it seems like it was pretty cool. Um, Last night and every Sunday night, I play at a spot called Off the Record, which is on Main, downtown. I forget the cross street, but it's like right downtown. And and that's cool. It's a R&B immersive kind of, pass the mic thing around. It's really fun. It's super fun. But it wears me out because they're most of those they're a lot younger than me. So um, but yeah, and then I know the Rhythm Room, Scott Gardner, who just recently passed away, who's been a staple in Houston since I was a boy. His venue is on Memorial, and I know they're keeping that going. And there's plenty of other places. Houston has everything.
No, that's right. I appreciate that. I'm always interested in knowing what's new that I don't know about, and also genres of music that maybe are not on my radar that other people are listening to. I think that big space on Montrose and Westheimer that used to be a movie rental place and a Tex-Mex restaurant and oyster house is being converted into a jazz club. But the jazz
Hmm.
clubs in Houston haven't lasted very long. They come and go pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Um, well, all right, Professor Robinson, we are out of time, and it was a great chance to have this opportunity to talk with you about your career, about your teaching, and about Houston's music culture. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we'll have more information about you and everything you're doing there in our post after the show. After a quick commercial break, Benji is going to be back with our Mental Health Monday guest.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
Dear Santa, my mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate today.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
We're back on Up to the Minute, and now we're moving on to Jessica Bellant, Education and Prevention Director for the Bridge Over Troubled Waters Incorporated, and our Mental Health Monday guest. Welcome back to the show, Jessica.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. It's always good to have you back. And this topic for this month is sexual harassment. So I know I want to delve into that, but before we do, I just want to know what's going on over there at the Bridge Over Troubled Water. Anything you have to mention that's new for this month?
Nothing too new. We are staying busy, hitting the summer. Unfortunately, it's busy as always over here. But yes, thank you for asking.
Of course, yes. So yeah, let's begin with the definition of sexual harassment.
Sure. So there are two different types of sexual harassment. One is quid pro quo, and that is as simple as you do this for me and I'll do this for you. So if someone needs a place to stay, okay, I'll give you a place to stay if you warm my bed, okay? Or I'll let you keep this job, or I'll give you a promotion if you warm my bed. So that's one, and there only needs to be one experience of that to be sexual harassment. The more common form of sexual harassment, what statistics show is about 95% of all sexual harassment, is called hostile environment. And this is where someone is made to feel uncomfortable in the place they work, go to school, where they live. And this is that persistent, multiple behaviors of unwanted sexual contact that could be physical or verbal.
Yeah. And so what are types of behaviors that constitute sexual harassment?
Yeah, so there's many different types. So some of the basic ones we're always going to think about are unwanted touching, flirting, talking about like this person is not your best friend, but they have questions about maybe your sex life or your interests, or they're describing their sex life to you. They're trying to show you pornography, right? When that is not what you want to see, right? Maybe how they're looking at you, like the way that they're staring at you, making you feel very uncomfortable can be a form of sexual harassment. Repeatedly asking someone out when they've said no, no, right? Not taking no for an answer. Also, like using your body to block doorways or blocking someone's exit. If they're clearly uncomfortable, they want to leave, and someone's using their body to say, no, you're not going anywhere. Also, just offensive jokes, comments, gestures, all of these things and more can constitute sexual harassment.
Got it. And what are a couple of key pieces of information that are important to remember about sexual harassment?
Yeah, so first, I always tell people if you feel uncomfortable in your body, listen to your gut. Your gut doesn't lie to you. Talk to someone about it who you trust, run it by someone. If something didn't feel right, it probably wasn't right. The one other behavior I didn't mention is, you know how we always get compliments from people, and sometimes
Yeah.
compliments are wonderful,
Yeah.
but we also know in our gut if a compliment is taken in a way that's not
Yeah.
appropriate, right? So trust yourself in that with your gut. The next thing is, if another thing that constitutes sexual harassment is any sexist jokes, homophobic jokes, transphobic jokes. All of those constitute sexual harassment as well. And then one last thing I like to remind people is at workplaces, you are protected against sexual harassment from anyone. So, fellow colleagues, bosses, but also your customers or the clients that you're serving. Your supervisor, your organization, wherever you work, needs to take any form of sexual harassment seriously. And it requires more than asking them to stop the behavior if it's found that, yes, sexual harassment has occurred.
Yeah, of course. And that's actually what I wanted to ask next. It's like, how can someone who has been a victim of sexual harassment bring awareness to this, maybe in the workplace, or maybe, if it's a friend or a colleague or something,
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely, unfortunately, most people have at least one experience of sexual harassment at school or work. And so I think talking about it more, helping people feel less shame about it, helping people understand their rights. Title IX protects us in schools, right? HCC has a wonderful Title IX office
Yeah.
that protects both employees and students. And then Title VII protects those who are in workplaces in community. And federal legislation protects employees that are at companies with 15 employees or more, but Texas Workforce Coalition says no matter how many employees, you are protected and should never be experiencing sexual harassment at work.
Yeah, that's good to hear because, people do go through things like this, and sometimes, like you said, you have that weird gut feeling sometimes, and you just don't know what to do. And so it's good that we can bring awareness to this. That way, like you said, we have rights. There's legal remedies and stuff like that can take place when something like this were to happen. So
Yeah, and anyone can experience sexual harassment. People think that just women and girls experience this. No, boys and men experience this. People of all genders experience sexual harassment.
yes, yes. And I know this can, sexual harassment can go on sometimes for a long period of time. I mean, it can't just be one isolated incident. What do you recommend for people who, you know, I mean, some of this stuff can really affect somebody mentally, right?
Yes.
And so, what would you recommend for people to do, other than, looking for help or asking for support?
Yeah, so this can unfortunately go on for really long periods of time. So, like I said, please do, take good care of yourself. Do what you have to do to stay safe and promote your mental well-being and emotional well-being. We always talk about destigmatizing therapy and counseling. So that is something, that we've had many survivors just seek counseling because of sexual harassment experiences. They can be very traumatic. It can make someone literally not want to go to school or work anymore.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to take seriously. Reach out to friends that you trust, use their support. We at the Bridge are here to help as well. Any survivor going through these forms of violences, we have all of our services are free. If you just want to talk to someone or safety plan, learn how to make that sexual harassment log. We always tell people log all these incidences, right? And that will help build a case to show the workplace or school that, hey, this is happening, and I need support.
Yeah. And we basically have to be our own advocate, right, for something like this, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're here at the Bridge to definitely advocate for you. But yes, I mean, people do often feel alone. Like I said too, at HCC, the Title IX office does support folks who are going through sexual harassment. So they can be another support as well.
And thank you so much for letting us know that also the bridge over troubled waters is there. So share your information. Where can we find you? And we'll leave it off with that.
Yes, definitely. So tbotw.org is our website, and on there is our 24-hour hotline number. We're available 24 hours a day. We're also available for walk-ins. We're in Pasadena. Look us up. Come visit us if you need us. We're here.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jessica Bellant. She is the Education and Prevention Director for the Bridge Over Troubled Waters and our Mental Health Monday guest. And we'll have all of your info on our post after the show. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Y'all take care.
Yeah, you too. All right. Coming up, we have a quick commercial break, but Nick and I will return with some news and announcements. So stay tuned.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. We think the tooth fairy should travel everywhere, and while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
Where I come from, they call firefighters the bravest. My dad was one. We lost him 3 years ago. First Responders Children's Foundation gave me a scholarship so that I can become a nurse and help people just like my dad did.
Help us help them.
All right, well, welcome back, Benji. We are here with some news and announcements. First, HCC and the Missouri City Juneteenth Celebration Foundation are teaming up for a day of career seminars, resource sessions, and networking with industry experts. Planners say this isn't just any job fair, it's a chance to connect directly with employers actively seeking talent. This will be at our HCC Missouri City campus on Friday, June 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. This Juneteenth Workforce Symposium is free for job seekers and employers. Check our post after the show for more information.
Awesome. Next up, we have Trafficking 101, A Basic Understanding. HCC Counseling and Ability Services, in collaboration with The Landing, will present a webinar to provide participants with a general understanding of human trafficking. They will learn to recognize potential victims of human trafficking, as well as about the services provided by The Landing. This will take place Wednesday, June 25th from noon to 1 p.m., and it's virtual via Teams, so anyone can join. The event is open to HCC students, faculty, and staff, so check out our post after the show for more info.
All right, well, HCC's Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center of Excellence is presenting the annual GI60 Houston. This summer drama practicum features selected one-minute plays from around the world performed by HCC's drama students. This is going to be at the HCC Stafford campus on Wednesday and Thursday, July 2nd and 3rd at 7:30 p.m. It's free. Check our post after the show for more information.
Next up, we have the Eagle Promise. Some can earn the degree for free. So eligible high school students are encouraged to apply for the Eagle Promise program. If they qualify and their grants and scholarships don't cover the cost of an HCC degree or certificate, Eagle Promise dollars will pay for tuition, fees, and a book allowance of up to $500 each semester. So the deadline to apply for this is September 30th. So check out our post after the show for more info.
All right, just as I mentioned at the top of the show, HCC is going to close on Thursday to commemorate the 160th anniversary of Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day. So this week, Up to the Minute will not air on Thursday, but we will have best of episodes running on HCCTV at its regularly scheduled times of noon, 5, and 10 p.m. There'll be no Up to the Minute on Thursday, but we will return on Friday, June 20th.
All right, and fall registration has opened. It's time to be thinking about fall classes, or you still have time to take summer courses to help you stay on track. HCC classes are still offered in a variety of programs, semester lengths, and a range of modalities, including online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, in-person and hybrid lab. To learn more about HCC program start dates and options to cover costs, visit hccs.edu/apply. And what do we have coming up next, Nick?
Well, for Tasty Tuesday, Brian Ching of the Houston Dynamo fame, one of the best soccer players in the United States, is going to return to the show to discuss his local pub and restaurant, Pitch 25 in Edo. We're also going to have Dean Samir Sabir of Digital and IT talk to us about HCC's national high rankings out of more than 500 colleges and universities in the Cyber Skyline and the National Cyber League Power Rankings. I mentioned also, if you're here for Music Mondays, we have a special guest on Friday talking about her digital content business for Film Friday, but it'll be none other than Ruth McCartney. Paul McCartney of the Beatles, his sister, will be joining us. So if you're a Beatles fan out there and you'd like to know what Paul's sister is up to, check us out on Friday.
That's great to hear.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Benji, for co-hosting. We'll see you next time.